It's time for Coffee with the Chicken Ladies, a podcast for people who love chickens.
Hey everybody, and welcome. It's Chrisie&Holly from Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. We're here, and this is episode number 197. We're almost to 200 of our podcast, where we talk about everything chicken, family, fun, and
more chickens.
More chickens. We drink a ton of coffee. I'm talking a ton. But most importantly,
we hug chickens every day.
And we kiss them too. Don't forget. We brew coffee from a little coffee roaster in Houston, Texas. Bright and early coffee. Holly Ann, what kind of coffee are we brewing today?
Got me some delicious Texas cinnamon.
It's Texas cinnamon. It is delicious. So, use our code CWTCL15 for 15% off bagged coffee at Bright and Early Coffee. And where should everybody go?
brightandearlycoffee.com.
Or get K-Cups on Amazon and follow them on social media. Are you ready to sip some of this delicious cinnamon coffee and chat?
I am. But first, a word from our sponsor.
We have some exciting news to share from our sponsor, Grubbly Farms. They're here, new and improved, Grubbly's World Harvest.
I'm a longtime subscriber, and my flock love the healthy, nutritious treats, plus orders $40 and more ship free.
If you haven't heard, Grubbly's has a fantastic layer pellet and crumble feed. It's packed with plant and insect protein, perfect for those picky chickens and ducks.
Grubbly Farms makes food and treats for healthy pets and planet.
To support us and Grubbly Farms, use the link grubbly.co/coffee. Try it today. Okay, so, ready for fall?
Yeah, been ready for fall.
To be here. Yesterday was hopefully our last in the 99-degree day here in the Mid-Atlantic. That's what I'm hoping. Chickens were not happy. Actually had to bring Spicy in and put her under a fan last night. She was quite hot.
Man.
And I'm just ready for the hot temperatures to be over with. I don't know about everybody else. I love summer, but I don't love 90 plus degrees.
It was a balmy 80 degrees when I came in here.
And humidity.
Well, that's a whole other subject.
It's not so much as the heat, it's the humidity, hon.
Oh my God, stop.
So, you know what? I want to address something. In last week's episode, apparently there was no intro.
There was no intro.
Joe came in and he's like, look, I tried to listen 4 times, but where's your intro? And I was like, wait, I remember doing an intro. And then you were like, look, you never did an intro. We didn't start the intro. We just went intro-less.
The episode goes through 2 final productions before we publish it. So one from me, and then Pete does one. And Pete came out.
And the first editing company, too.
Right. And Pete came out and said, did you guys skip your intro? And I was like, no. And then I went back and pulled up the original audio file, and I said, yes, we did. And it was just, I think it was just a crazy day.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time something didn't feel right, but we were just going. We just went with it. So
you didn't get what was going on in our week last week, so we have to make up for it and do a double-size intro this week.
Stop. People are going to stop listening right now.
No, they're not. Joe really missed it. Joe missed the intro.
I'm sure he missed the intro. God.
I mean, it's all fun. So this weekend coming up, this episode will come out in September, but we're not to Labor Day yet, so it's the last hurrah of the summer.
Speak for yourself.
The state fair is going on in Maryland right now.
I love me some state fair.
All the animals are out there. But it would be nice if it were 65 degrees for the state fair.
It's never 65 degrees for the state fair.
They should do the state fair like October. That'd be fun.
But remember, the state fair has a lot of produce and stuff.
They do.
And things like the flower show, that might be impacted.
Yeah. They'd be
and
like, save all your veggies. And then it's like a rotten veggie contest. Whose vegetable rotted the best?
Oh, girl, that's nasty. But here's the other problem. The other problem is it was always the end of the summer. So, you know, when we were 4-H kids, you did the state fair, then it was Labor Day, then school started.
Yeah.
But now that school is going back before Labor Day.
Not here. Harford County doesn't start till after Labor Day.
I know Harford County, this is the one way they're more civilized than Baltimore County.
They're holding out, man.
Yeah.
They're after Labor Day.
I'm right there with them. So anyway, I don't even know what they could do now. The end of summer is the perfect time to have the fair.
And I looked at it. I think there's an extra weekend this year. There's 3 weekends for the state fair. So it's even the weekend after Labor Day. Not this weekend, but next. They also still have the Labor Day.
The only way they would have added more is if it's more than 10 days.
If it's more than 10 days.
Okay, then they did add some days to it.
They did, man. They're like, get your butts out to the state fair.
I like to go look at all the fiber art stuff. I don't have time to enter anymore, but
I don't like the rides. I like everything else, you know? So we used to take the kids when they were little and they want to ride all the little kid rides, but I don't trust the big rides there.
I don't trust any rides there. If
no.
you want me to be honest.
No, I just like looking at all the animals and everything.
Yes, that's fun.
But that is fun. So, yeah. Before we move on, I'm going to mention my mama's boy, little man. He's so cute.
What about him?
He's cute.
He is very cute. I know.
He loves to be snuggled, and I hope he stays that way.
Well, welcome to roosters.
Yes, but I don't want him to chase me or do that stuff.
Here's the thing, though. In the rooster brain, chasing and being snuggled are two mutually exclusive activities.
I get that. When I hold him, he looks me in the eyes, and he's like,
this I will tell you. He can't chase you if you don't run. Seriously.
I won't run. I never ran from Gertie when she pulled that stuff.
No, do not run. Do not run from roosters.
No.
The only time someone should run from a rooster is like when they're farm sitting for me and I say, first thing in the morning when you let the rooster out, open that door and keep walking. Do not turn back. Do not, you need to pass go. Do not collect that $200.
And have the miniature hoe with you.
The hoe is simply there to put a barrier between you.
I have one too.
Yes.
Every time I use it to get a girl that's running from me, I have to say this. Go, go, gadget arm. I say it.
Oh my God.
I say, and I'm usually by myself with the chickens, so it doesn't really matter. But honest to God, it's this little kid's pink miniature hoe. And whenever I use it to corner them, I go, 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 gadget arm. And I put it.
I do not even know what to do with this information.
But I don't know why I have to say it.
I don't know why you have to say it either.
Did you watch Inspector Gadget growing up?
Sometimes if it was on the TV before we had to go out to the bus stop, I would watch it, but not
My brother was addicted to it.
It was pretty silly.
And I had it always on, and he would go, go, gadget arm. And that's what it exactly reminds me of.
I think you just spent 3 minutes talking about the fact that you have to say go, go, gadget arm if you use a hoe to try to catch
We're making up for last week. It's okay.
You weren't kidding, man.
And on that note, if you're listening to our show and you're loving it, head on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a written review. We got one this morning. Thank you so much. It was a great review. Someone who thinks that we're sitting right with them in their kitchen. And I love that.
That's
love that. Thank you for the review. You made our day.
Yeah.
And while you're there, hit that subscribe button because you never want to miss an episode and they count them and it really helps our show grow.
If you're looking for other ways to help support the show, you can tell a few chicken-loving friends about us. You can share your favorite episodes on social media. You can check out our Etsy shop. We have tank tops, we have t-shirts, we have logo mugs. You can become a patron of the show, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. As always, an enormous thank you to our patrons. We love you. You make this show happen. The other thing you can do to help support the show is visit our website and our show notes, use our affiliate links and discount codes, and buy products from our sponsors.
Yay!
If you're looking for a chicken coop that's produced in a planet-friendly, sustainable way, try Nestera.
Each coop is made from highly durable, 100% recycled plastic that keeps the equivalent of up to 2,000 shampoo bottles out of a landfill.
Their clean, modern design will fit into any garden or run area and comes with an industry-beating 25-year warranty and a range of handy accessories.
Simple to put together, so quick and easy to clean, and most importantly, red mite resistant. Your chickens will love it.
Quick shipping from Nestera US.
For a 5% discount, use the affiliate link in our show notes, on our website, and on Instagram. Link in bio. Check them out today.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Do you like subscription boxes?
Does it have anything to do with chickens?
Of course.
Then yeah. Let me take a minute to tell you about the Chicken Love Box. If you love goodies for your chickens and you need to go to chickenlove.com.
I love the mega box. Tons of useful products for my flock and a chicken tea for me.
You can't go wrong with a chicken tea. They are so cute and so soft.
In the April box, I absolutely love the chick leg bands and the organic soap set with hen decoration.
I am loving the Chicken Spirit long sleeve tee, and those chick vitamins, they could save a chick for sure.
Boxes start at $39 a month. They ship immediately after your order, and shipping is always free.
Such a great deal. Don't wait. Get off the nest and click already. Use the code CWTCL50 for 50% off your first box of a 3-month subscription or more. That's chickenlove.com. That's chickenluv.com. Get your subscription today.
The Breed Spotlight is brought to you by Murray McMurray Hatchery, defining quality for generations. For over a century, Murray McMurray Hatchery has remained a trusted family-owned business working tirelessly to ensure our poultry meet the highest standards.
Whether you are an experienced enthusiast or just embarking on the journey, look to McMurray Hatchery for guaranteed quality, rare, and heritage breeds, low minimums, and all the supplies you need to raise your flock. Request a free catalog today. Gonna go out to the field, gonna pick myself some flowers. Gonna go out to the field and pick myself some flowers. I'll pick like 55. Yeah, it's time for the breed spotlight. Yeah.
Yeah.
This week's
That's inspired.
this week's breed spotlight is
The beautiful 55 Flowery Hen is not related to the Swedish flower hen, though they look like they should be, and they come from the same country.
we could be cousins.
They could, but they're not.
Oh, come on. Everybody's a cousin.
They are a European heritage breed, and they are one of the few auto-sexing heritage breeds out there. There aren't that many of them.
That's really good.
One of the many fascinating things about them is that they have 100% Leghorn parentage, but they are a distinct breed. They're not simply another Leghorn color variety.
That whole thing is just weird.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
As we said, they were created in Sweden. They're the first breed that was developed by Father Martin Silverrud,
The monk.
who created the Silverruds Blue. He wanted to create an excellent layer that could compete with the industrial hybrids that were being developed during the early and mid-20th century. Plus, he wanted to make them auto-sexing. So he had these two distinct goals.
Man before his time, he knew that there would be people in the suburbs that needed hens that could not chance it. So he did this.
That's if he's a monk.
He knew it.
Yeah.
He didn't need to speak to do this either.
Okay, I don't know why you are obsessed with this idea that the man took a vow of silence. But that's humming. Can they hum if they take a... No, okay.
That's all they could do.
No,
Okay, let's
he's
move
not a Buddhist monk. He was a Catholic monk. Okay, he was a Catholic monk. Okay, anyway. Martin Silverrud, in case you're wondering, was a Swedish monk who worked in Småland, Sweden. His Catholic order worked in agriculture.
Oh, you inserted the word Catholic
Yes, I
there.
did. They worked in agriculture, but it's hard to find a lot more information or history about it or him. I mean, if we were in Sweden, probably, but I've tried and tried.
He didn't speak much, so there was no information out there. Maybe he wrote it.
He said a lot. I mean, I have firsthand accounts of him talking about his chickens. Okay.
Sorry. Okay, let's move on.
The 55 Flowery Hen can still be found in Sweden. Sometimes they're even used on egg production farms because they're really good layers.
That's how you bred them to be. I mean, you got Leghorn, you're going to have a lot of eggs.
Right. To create the 55 Flowery Hen, Silverrud used two different varieties of Leghorn. So he had a pool that he was breeding from, and they were about 70% white Leghorn and 30% brown Leghorn. And apparently, this particular mix includes 3 different genes that creates the white spots, also known as the flowers, on the hen's feathers. One of the genes is a modeling gene. The other 2 are striping and barring genes. And we know from the barred rock that barring gene does a lot with color or the absence of color.
And the modeling gene is what creates the flower.
The spots, right? If you add these to the silver gene, which we would call the white gene, but it works out by sex because it gives the roosters almost all white feathers.
Hooray.
On the hens, the white shows up as those flowers and also on the ends of their tail feathers, which is very pretty.
I liked the fact with this chicken that the girls are flashy.
They certainly have most of the color and,
Yeah, they get the glamorous gene where the boys are like, yeah, I'm just one color. That's okay.
It's okay.
I like the girls on there. They get the modeling.
Beautiful hens. I do plan to have them in my flock one day. I love these birds.
Anybody with the modeling, it just has an extra special look to this chicken. They're beautiful and they give you lots of eggs. What can you go wrong with? And they're auto-sexing, so there's no chance of getting a boy.
Right, that's right.
So let's go into what they look like because, okay, I've said this before. They're Leghorns, they're not Leghorns, they're Leghorns, but they're not Leghorns. But they're Leghorns.
They're not Leghorns. They're not.
But they're made from Leghorns.
Made from, but not Leghorns. Are you Bob and Jackie?
I am from them, yes.
But you're not Bob and Jackie.
But because they're from and Leghorn, not Leghorns, they are small-bodied. You know you're laughing.
I'm not laughing.
You are.
My eyes are rolling back in my head.
They're small body. I finally got to the part where I'm telling you they're small body. They're little, okay?
Right.
The roos are coming in at 5 pounds and the hens are coming in at 4. That's leghorn size 2AT.
It is.
Okay?
Yeah.
They have those good size straight combs, wattles, and those smooth yellow legs.
Don't even have to shave them.
Don't even have to shave them. No, you don't. So the roos are mostly white, like we said, with tan saddle feathers. And the hens are coming in this variety of beautiful colors, all with the white flowers at the end of the feathers. They're daisies, they're carnations, they're irises. All these different flowers, man.
They are.
And they look like leghorns in Swedish flower hen suits with speckles.
I love them. Well, you know I love the Swedish flowers, but I love these little birds. I'm telling you, some point they will be in my flock.
You'll get more leghorns.
Well, and but they're not leghorns.
Speckled leghorns.
Okay, why don't you tell us about their eggs?
Why don't I go ahead and tell us about the egg laying? Excellent layers of very large white eggs.
Yes.
They're a small chicken, large white eggs. Again, another characteristic of the leghorn.
Yeah.
They'll give you anywhere from 200 to 250 per year. Those are very good numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some keepers have reported that the pullets start to lay quite late, but if you get a heritage breed, that's what it's going to be. 6 months is the average for a heritage breed.
But we've had them as late as 8 to 9 months start laying.
Exactly. So
they lay when they're ready.
The Morans were born in March, and they didn't lay till Christmas morning. That's December. That's a very long time.
Right.
So anything before 6 months with a heritage breed is a gift to you.
Absolutely.
But keep in mind, the earlier they lay, the earlier they stop.
Right.
So if you get them, they can lay quite late because they start later.
Yeah, they'll apparently lay further into old age. Yeah. Which is nice. Some keepers claim that they are flighty birds. Others say they're just a little bit aloof. I think the truth is probably that they're birds that like to hang out with you, but they don't want to be held.
Yeah.
They're not really up for snuggles a lot.
Or ones that once you get a hold of, then they're like, okay, you can hold me, but to catch them is a little bit harder.
They're always individuals, yeah.
My Andalusians, when they were babies, loved to snuggle all the time. They didn't run when I tried to get them. Now they kind of run. Well, Rosemary more than Basil. But once I get them, they snuggle right in.
Yeah.
So sometimes they're like that too. Now, the Roos have a reputation for being really nice guys.
They do. I've never met one in person, but...
You haven't?
No, I've not. I probably would have taken it home with me if I had.
Yeah, you would have.
But I think that's one of the things that would make them a good homestead breed. I mean, especially if you're looking for eggs. But if you have kids, and please do not ever leave your rooster and kids unattended together. That seems like a big problem waiting to happen. But they're not known for being very aggressive, and they probably tolerate having kids around a lot better than a lot of other breeds.
You might not need the tiny hoe with this breed.
Right.
I just like to say that.
The tiny hoe. They're pretty active birds, and they're excellent foragers. So they do need space.
Yeah, they're great gardeners.
Exactly. And they're a beautiful addition to a backyard or
a fancy chicken ladies flock or gents.
Yeah.
So let's ask ourselves and everybody else the big question here. If you wanted to get them, where will you find the 55 Flowery Hen?
Well, me personally, I'm going straight to Greenfire Farm because they have them.
And they're amazing over there.
And not only do they have them,
of course they sell the sex pullets because they're auto-sexing.
Right, that's the whole thing. Like usually when you're buying from Greenfire Farm, you're buying straight run. But in this particular case, you're not. They also have really nice leg bars. So if you're in the suburbs and you cannot have roosters, you can get yourself some beautiful 55 flowery hens that are going to give you white eggs and beautiful leg bars that are going to give you blue and green eggs.
They're great for your social media because they are pretty hens. And we all love the white eggs in our egg basket because they're going to make those other eggs pop in color even more. They're just really pretty nice chickens, and they would be a great addition. So here's the part of the show where I say, if you have the 55 Flowery Hen, give us a story over on Instagram. On your story, hit the mention button and then type our name in so that it gets sent to us. We'd love to give you a reshare. We'd love to see your birds. And we want to share your stories.
Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of backyard ducks? Look no further than Metzer Farms, your premier destination for top-quality waterfowl. Whether you're a seasoned breeder or just starting out, Metzer Farms has everything you need to elevate your flock to the next level. And if you're passionate about call ducks, you're in for a treat.
Metzer Farms hatches a stunning variety of call ducks, meticulously bred for their miniature size, beauty, and calm temperament. From snowy whites to vibrant colors, each duck is a masterpiece waiting to grace your backyard. Visit MetzerFarms.com today to browse their extensive selection and start your journey into the wonderful world of waterfowl. Metzer Farms, where passion meets perfection. Roosty's proudly sponsors Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. They're back with an innovative new product. You're going to want to check this out.
It's an extra-large set, a 14-pound feeder and 3-gallon water with steep anti-roost lids. They're made of super durable material. You can either stand them on legs or hang them on brackets on your coop or fence. They're easy to remove and clean too. Plus, they look awesome.
We personally use Roosties and we're huge fans. So if you're raising chicks or keeping chickens, check out the Roosty store on Amazon or follow the link in our show notes. Okay, we're ready to move on to main topic. Yeah.
Okay, everybody. This week we have the wonderful Dr. Rebecca Ganaris with us. You know her better as Chrissie and I's poultry vet, and we could not live without her.
And friend.
Dr. Rebecca, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me back. You guys are too sweet.
We love you. You know it, too. You're amazing. You're awesome. You're a great friend. And Archie's joining us. He's smiling at us right now.
Yes, my little 4.5-month-old is here, too.
And he's so smiley.
Seriously,
He's a smiley, happy baby.
Oh, you get the award for having the most beautiful children. My goodness.
Oh, thank you. That's really
gorgeous.
Cool.
So this week we're going to be doing a Q&A with you, and the questions we have are from our patrons. Some really thoughtful things they sent along. But before we get into that, can you let everyone know how your flock is doing? How are all the birds?
Everyone is good. I have about 25 chickens right now, and I have 2 turkeys. I would say the highlight right now is that my 2 turkeys have been broody for probably over a month. I haven't let them hatch anything, and they've had some, I would say, a learning curve as far as sitting on chicken eggs because they used to break everything that they sat on. But lately they've become very gentle, and it's very tempting to allow them to maybe raise some chicken babies on their own.
That would be so cute to watch turkeys be chicken mamas. Yeah. You're going to walk outside one day and Ezra's going to be like, there's going to be babies running around.
I think he would love having some baby chicks.
Do they make really nice pets, the turkeys?
I do really like them. I think that they've been really sweet, especially with my 2-year-old Ezra. The one, he can go up and he can like sit on her and she doesn't care.
Oh my goodness.
Is she the one that sits on the car? Who sits on the car?
Both of them will sit on cars. I actually had to clip their wings because they kept flying up on the cars, and we don't really want them doing that.
Oh, I can imagine you don't want a turkey on your car.
They're heritage breeds, so they're not like as heavy as the meat breeds are, of course, but they're still like substantial. I'm surprised they can get up there.
You have a Narragansett, and what's the other one?
The other one is a blue slate.
And they're gorgeous. They're absolutely stunning.
Yeah, they're cool. They're very friendly. They let you pet them and everything, and they make really cute noises.
I think Pete's in the other room with his ears covered because I can just hear him right now. We're not getting a turkey.
Holly's like, I'm getting some turkeys. He's like,
I love the turkeys. I love the turkeys.
I think that the turkeys are pretty cool. I am glad that we got them.
Nice. Okay.
So we have been talking to our beautiful patrons during our happy hour that we have once a month. And we've been doing this since we started the show. And these ladies are amazing that come on this happy hour once a month. And so we asked them for their questions to bring to you. And so I'm going to start with the first question. And the first one is from Allison. And she's actually asking, what are the first signs that you would see with a chicken that has a reproductive problem? Like, what are you looking for? First off, that's like the very first thing with a chicken with reproductive issues.
I would say reproductive issues make up the vast majority of the things that I see. So I would say like the more subtle things that you would expect, like a change in behavior, is something as simple as that. Sometimes they'll roost earlier than the other chickens. they might separate themselves a little bit, maybe lose kind of their place that they normally are in the pecking order. And I do a lot of times see that the rest of the chickens will kind of know if another chicken is sick even before we might catch on to it. So unfortunately, they might turn on that chicken and start pecking their head and things like that. When we're talking about more specifically reproductive related, a lot of chickens will tend to like go in and out of the nest box because they feel like they might have to lay even if they don't actually have an egg to lay. It might be pressure from an impacted oviduct or it might be from infection. And you would obviously see either a complete halt in egg production from that hen, or you might start to see abnormal eggs, whether it's lash eggs or like soft shelled eggs or really like abnormal looking eggs.
Okay. So, and the other thing is maybe like sitting in the box for a longer period of time.
Yeah,
too.
exactly. Kind of either in and out of the nest box, or it's like they're sitting in there for hours and you feel like they should have laid an egg by then, but they haven't laid anything.
The one thing I wanted to mention is how important an internal vet exam is, to have your veterinarian do it. I've seen you do it so much. And the thing is, I always comment because the chickens hate their heads touched, but they never even flinch when you do the internal vet exam. And you have caught so many things by doing that. I just want everyone to play advocate for their chickens and ask their vets to do that if they're having issues or whatever, and they go to the vet. It's okay to ask, to say, can you check internally if you feel anything in there? You've caught a lot of things when you do that.
Right. I would say it's the most important aspect of the physical exam that I do on any chicken. And I try to do it on every chicken, whether or not that's something that they're coming in for or not. Just because you can catch things early, or you might think that this chicken's coming in for one problem, but it's actually reproductive related. So no, and they seem to be very tolerant of it. So I would say for any vet that's trying to learn more about poultry, the more vet exams you can do, the better. And even for owners, if they feel comfortable gently doing that, that can help you potentially catch on to things that you would then bring your chicken to the vet for. Like, I know that you caught something yourself, Chrissy, recently that I don't see very often, an ectopic egg, which was kind of cool.
Yeah. So I noticed that she was acting, my Lavender Orpington June was acting strange, and she kind of was just laying outside in the run and acting like a weird posture. So I've done a million rectal exams with other animals. Of course, I put a glove on, put lube on, and put my finger in there, and I felt an egg right there. And I felt 2 eggs. And I remember texting you and saying, can you feel 2 eggs at once? And she passed the first egg. And I'm like, okay. And then I just felt 1 egg. And then the next day I did it again and I still felt an egg. And I remember saying, it's lower. It's lower when I put my finger in. And you were like, well, maybe it's the gizzard. And I was like, I hope that's true. And then I come into you with June and you look me dead in the eye and you're like, you're right. And I'm like,
I was like, I could tell immediately. I was like, yep, that's an egg.
I should put it up on social media because I took a picture of the x-ray that you took where it's sitting right there in the abdomen.
Yeah.
I should put that up.
Yeah, because it's an abnormal place. It shouldn't be in that area. That's how we kind of figured it out.
And you did surgery, and knock on wood, since I'm Italian, I'm superstitious. Knock on wood. She's doing really well. So she's back to herself. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely caught that before it became a problem, I think.
And Ezra cracked the egg afterwards, which was fun.
That's right, he did. I forgot about that.
Our second question is from Abby. And Abby has this adorable little Salmon Faverolles rooster, Pierre. But Pierre is quite the lover. So Abby's question is, what can you use on wounds from overbreeding?
Yeah, unfortunately, we do see that the spurs can really damage like the sides of a hen. Is she talking about like from spur damage, or is she talking about from just overmating?
The toenails, or whatever they're using to hold on to the hen. I think
a handful of times I've seen like an open wound from a really long spur. So I would say like in a pinch at home, you can use even just like Neosporin can be useful. You want to get the stuff that doesn't have any pain medication in it. You just want plain old antibiotics. I really like silver sulfidine cream in general for chicken wounds. Usually that's prescription, but I believe you guys have found something kind of similar over the counter, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. You could get it on Amazon or at CVS, actually. It's called silver ointment, and it's not the same thing, but it's as close as you can get.
The strength isn't the same. The strength isn't the same, but it works in a pinch. I mean, before our days with you, Dr. Rebecca, my husband and I used it on the worst case of bumblefoot I've ever seen, and it did do some good.
Yeah, it's great stuff. So I would say that's what I usually reach for. And then in general, trying to cover it with a chicken saddle if possible. I know sometimes it might be a little too far over. You might need to get more creative and find something that will cover that area instead. And then, of course, there are any open wounds. If you have a vet, it'd be better for them to stitch it up because it might take a long time to heal. Yeah. And then in general, for the rooster, I would say keep the spurs trimmed if possible. I like to use a Dremel for rooster spurs.
You answered our third question without us asking it.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no. Go into the third question because there's probably more to it.
No, before we go into the third question, I want to say a good idea is to take a sleeve from a shirt, that like a big t-shirt, and you can use that to wrap loosely around them too and kind of get it to stay just while the wound heals.
Are you putting that around their body with their wings free or over top of their wing? Okay.
Yeah, their wings free.
You should definitely cut out holes for the wings.
Yeah, don't put the wings in there. That's not going to end
well. No, don't put the wings in there. Okay, this is a natural progression. Our third question is from Jen, and she is asking about spur care and what should she do?
That's a great segue because I do see spurs when they're too long. I mean, obviously it can be a danger to people if that rooster is like more aggressive towards people, especially strangers and things like that. But he can accidentally hurt the hens, even if he is a very nice rooster. So in general, I like to use a Dremel for spurs. If you have a really nice rooster, I would try to do it frequently so that they never get that long, because a spur is essentially like a very big toenail and that it does have a blood supply, but it is considered to be more of a bone at the same time too. So it's a little more sturdy, and it would be also, I think, more painful to cut it too short than it would be like a normal fingernail. So I try to Dremel them back as far as you can. You can start to see like the very tip of the quick if you are Dremeling back, and I would just like kind of stop there. I don't know what you could use. I use the Dremel. I'm sure you could find something that you could like cut it short and then Dremel, but I find the Dremel is the best thing to use on those spurs.
What I have always used, actually, to me, the spurs, the toenail is a good analogy. To me, it's the same as the horn on a sheep with the blood supply inside
that's a good comparison.
So that's actually what we use to trim our rooster spurs, and you have to do short cuts.
Okay.
Very carefully is the toenail nippers that we use on the sheep feet.
Okay. Yeah, that would work.
But again, you have to take shortcuts because you do too big a cut, and not only can you get the quick, but you can splinter the whole spur.
That's true.
So this is something that seems like it would be a good quick appointment and a good way to really get to know your veterinarian and take them in every so often to have you trim them. So you might be seeing my little man come in if he needs it.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see him.
So, because I'm like, I just want you to do it the way you do it, because I know he doesn't have them yet. So we're good there. But
right. I have done some spurs depending on how long they are. I mean, on some roosters, I'll just do it with them completely awake and just with some restraint. And then others, if they're really, really long and the owner wants me to try to get them much shorter, I have done it under sedation and pain medicine to try to get it back as far as I can. Some of those instances, I'll use like that wheel on the Dremel and really go far back. And sometimes it's so hot that it actually does cauterize it, but I don't want them awake for that, obviously.
Exactly.
Pain medicine for that, for those more extreme cases. But yeah, even like a visit, they can help show you like how far back you can go. And if you do feel comfortable, then you could do it on your own.
There's those horror stories of people doing videos online of all different kind of barbaric ways to do the spurs. And I just like, hey, just take them to the vet, let you guys do it and do it easily.
Yeah, I have seen the ones that are the most horrific are where they're taking like the pliers and just like yanking the entire spur off. And I know they're like, oh, we'll see, the rooster's fine. He doesn't even care. But that's, we say it all the time. Chickens don't show pain like we expect them to. They evolutionarily are actually going to hide pain as much as they can because being a prey animal, they don't want to show any signs of weakness. But that's essentially like amputation there when they're pulling that whole thing off. It's essentially like if you took your whole, it's much worse, I think, but if you took like your whole fingernail off in one thing, you have all of that soft tissue and nerves underneath. That would be very, very painful.
There's one with like a hot potato or something too that
I
looks
was just
cruel.
going to say that. I was going to warn you.
Hot potato.
So, like, this is the deal. And of course, I've never done this because
it looks cruel.
I don't know how you can't foresee the problems. Microwave a potato until it's like super hot. Put it on the spur. Let the hot potato steam the keratin around the spur and then pull it off. That's a no. That's a big no.
Who came up with that?
I don't know.
Like, how did anyone even think of that?
Awful.
I do not know. That's a recipe for a burned rooster. That's what that is.
Yes, for sure. That is awful.
Let the professionals take care of it. It's a good way to get to know your vet. That's for sure.
Yeah, I might have to bring some. I hate cutting them because I'm always afraid of splintering them. I love the Dremel idea, though.
Yeah, I use the Dremel pretty much exclusively. I actually, my rooster spurs have gotten really long. I need to do his too.
But we already know everybody. Like, we're like family at Pleasantville Animal Hospital. They're like, oh my God, these ladies are here again.
Ben, always know who you guys are.
Our fourth question is from Allison. Now, Allison wanted a little refresher for anyone who's confused about the Merrick's vaccine. Why is the Merrick's vaccine important? And how is it different and safe now compared to those early generation Merrick's vaccines?
Yeah, I know we did a whole episode on this with more details if anyone wants to listen to it. But essentially, what's important about the Merrick's vaccine is that it is very good at preventing chickens that are exposed to Merrick's from developing disease. And the problem with Merrick's is there's no treatment for it currently, and it's very, very contagious. And it's a really horrific disease. I mean, you have several different forms of it, and it's just horrible to have a disease in which I have to tell someone I have no treatment for it.
Right.
Most of them are coming in paralyzed, and even though they are mentally okay and still eating and things like that, we have to end up euthanizing because their quality of life is so poor. But then other chickens can develop widespread cancer from it, and it's just awful to see them waste away. So it's very good at preventing chickens from developing the disease. The reason why we do it is because it's such a prevalent virus that it can be used for people even if they have Merrick's in their flock or not. You can use it for any new chicks coming in. I mean, the commercial industry would never do it that way, but I think in a backyard setting, it allows people to still keep a flock if they need to.
I think one of the places where, and Allison knew this, she was looking for a way to explain this to someone else. So one of the things that we tend to hear is that people are afraid if they get vaccinated birds and bring them into an unvaccinated flock, that the unvaccinated birds will catch Merrick's, and that is not correct.
Yes, that's the second part of the question. So I believe that the vaccine did used to be what they would call quote unquote leaky, meaning that it wasn't perfect in that it could actually cause disease and then cause shedding of the virus. But the reason that the vaccine is different now is that they actually use the turkey strain of the Merrick's virus, so the turkey strain of the herpes virus. And by using that, you're not going to get shedding of it from chickens because it's a different species strain, but it's similar enough in that they do have an immune response that is, I guess, strong enough to prevent them from developing disease from it.
The chicken that get the vaccine can't get it from the vaccine in that case because it's not even for the right species. So
right, exactly. It's a different species strain that they're using.
Well, that was about as clear and succinct as you can get with that answer, I think.
Perfect.
Thank you. And I will link our previous, like you said, we did a whole episode on that, and it's really good. So I will link that in the show notes for this episode.
So our last question is from Sweet Susan in Houston, Texas. And Susan is in an area where there's lots of heat, and she's got big astrolorps. And her question is, what are the signs she should be looking for heat stress? And what should she do to help prevent, treat it, just heat stress in general? What should she be looking for?
As far as signs to look for, it's important to note that chickens don't sweat. So when chickens get hot, the biggest thing that you'll see that they will be panting a lot. That being said, I would say panting in of itself isn't a bad thing. We, of course, even here, when it's not extreme heat, you'll see your chickens panting. Chickens will pant when they are like under heat stress in a way, but it doesn't always mean that you have to be concerned about them. That is the natural way that they expel heat. That being said, I would say you will see like extreme panting, but the chicken will also probably be like laying down and eyes closed and looking very lethargic in general. Usually chickens, even if they are just expelling heat, they should still be like acting normally. They should be moving around. They should be responding to you if you come up to them. If you have a chicken that's not responding very well when you come up to them, I would be very concerned about that. I would say that in terms of preventing it, I mean, shade is a huge thing. Try to provide as much shade as possible. There's some coops I pass around here that have like no shade available, and I don't understand how their chickens make it through the summer sometimes, or how they can even feel good about keeping them in an atmosphere.
I've seen
like
the same thing. I'm like, where is the shade for their birds? It's crazy.
Right. So I would say shade is a big one, providing cool water if possible. I've heard of people doing like misting and like pools and stuff like that. I'll be honest with you, my chickens didn't like any of the, like they didn't want anything to do with getting in water. They didn't want to be misty with the hose. So it doesn't work for my chickens, but maybe it works for other people's chickens.
So crazy. It was so crazy. Susan, our patron, had a story that she told at our last Zoom happy hour that she has 3 astrolorps and she went to give treats and only 2 came. And they have a swimming pool. And she said for the first time ever, she looked in the swimming pool and one of them was swimming in the pool.
Really? Wow. That's pretty cool. My chickens would never do that.
That's a smart chicken.
They never fail to do. I mean, they just do the funniest stuff that you just don't expect.
That is so funny. Maybe it's part duck.
Maybe.
But hey, I mean, so if your chickens enjoy swimming pools, I mean, have at it. I know mine don't care for them. I would say also access to dust bathing is also really important for heat, especially any dirt you can keep in the shade. It's amazing how much cooler dirt is. If they can get in there, it can really help cool them off.
So tomorrow here in our area, it's supposed to be what, like 100 degrees. I'm like, please let that be the very last hot day of the season.
I know. When we had the 70-degree weather, it was so nice.
It was perfect. It was perfect. And now, like, tomorrow I'm back to, okay, I need to put their feet in the water.
Other things that I really like to do for heat stress are definitely put electrolytes in the water. I would say for the whole flock. I think that makes a huge difference. And if you do have a chicken you're concerned about having heat stress, I would definitely bring them inside to the AC. I have a little bit more experience with heat stress like in dogs and stuff, but something that might be counterintuitive if you don't think about it is you're not supposed to use things like ice, because ice can actually cause the peripheral vessels to constrict, and we want the vessels at the end of the periphery to actually expand so it can expel heat. So we don't use ice. We usually would use like fans, and we would use cool water, not ice cold.
That's kind of what I do. I change the water out multiple times during the day to make it cold. I don't usually use the ice. I just keep changing the water with cold water during the day.
Right. Yeah,
that's
exactly.
a good point.
You don't want too cold. And if you're bringing a chicken in, you could think about you don't want to wet down their feathers, I guess, too much, because you don't want to ruin the waterproofing, but you could put their feet in cool water and try to put cool water on their combs and things like that.
We had our little Duclay rooster, not this summer, actually, it was last summer, came out of the coop. It was a super, super hot day. He came out of the coop and he was walking sideways, like a little drunken man. I knew it was the heat right away. We brought him in. We put his feet in a bowl of cool water, and then we actually just wet some paper towels so they were cool, and we put them on his comb, since that's where roosters give off all that heat.
The combs and wattles definitely give off a lot of heat. So that's a good area to focus on, especially because it's not covered by feathers. That's a good area for you to focus on without completely wetting the feathers. There's areas under like the wings that not a lot of feathers grow. You could try to put like cool towels and stuff there without completely drenching the chicken.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Under the wings, definitely.
Yeah. And they tend to, I mean, you'll see, chickens, when they're hot, they hold their wings out. So that's a good area to focus on because they should be able to dissipate heat a little better under the wings if you get some cool towels or something there.
That's fantastic.
Sounds good.
Really helpful.
So those are our questions from everybody. And you know what? We like to do this maybe every few months, gather some more questions. If anybody's out there and you want to email us a question or direct message us a question on Instagram for Dr. Rebecca, now keep in mind, she cannot diagnose. These are questions that have to be broad questions that are about care and different things like that. If you have one for her, email us or direct message us. And in a few months, we can gather a few more questions and do a question and answer. I liked the segment with Dr. Rebecca. I like it. We want to thank you again, Dr. Rebecca, for coming on and taking the time to answer the questions for everybody.
Mama.
And Ezra, thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Ezra.
And Archie. He's sound asleep. Archie's sound asleep now. And everybody feels like they know you, and everybody has told us they want their own Dr. Rebecca because they think they know we got the best. So
that is too sweet. I am very flattered to hear that. And it was fun doing some questions. I would be very happy to do it again.
Thank you. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Thank you. We just want to thank Dr. Rebecca one more time for taking time to answer these questions. She's amazing. We are lucky to have her as a friend and our chicken doctor.
Oh, and we want to thank our two special guests that also joined us during this interview, Archie and Ezra.
Yes.
They made us laugh a ton.
Oh, they're gorgeous little guys. And a big thanks to our patrons, too, for supplying us with these good questions.
We love those ladies.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to
cracking the eggs.
Cracking those eggs. Now, this week we went with
sausage and hominy bake. Or you could just call it sausage and hominy casserole.
Yeah, exactly. It's a casserole.
It's yummy. Hominy is unfamiliar to a lot of people, but it goes well with eggs, and it makes this egg bake more substantial, a little chewier.
And this is going to work for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Whenever you want it. It's really good.
Or when you have your bestie over to talk about chickens.
Here, have some hominy.
Have some and talk about the 55 Flowery Hen.
It's a beautiful hen.
Yes, it is.
It's a beautiful hen.
Yes, indeedy. Okay, so let's go through the ingredients that you're going to need for this recipe. We're going to need 1 pound of sausage of your choice. So pork, turkey, or veggie. 1 onion chopped. 1 15-ounce can of hominy, rinsed and drained, which is the great thing that you can get this in the can now. 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese or dairy-free cheddar or a cheese of your choice that you like. 6 large eggs, because we got some eggs going on right now.
Still getting some eggs, yeah.
Yeah. 1.5 cups of milk or plant-based milk. 1/2 teaspoon of paprika. 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter or dairy-free butter, melted and then cooled. And then salt and pepper to taste.
You're going to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And you want to spray or grease a 9x13 baking pan. Set that aside. In a large skillet, you're going to cook the sausage and the onion until the onion is softened and starting to brown and the sausage is just cooked through. Stir it frequently while it's cooking, making sure you break up any big sausage chunks while it cooks. Remove that from the heat and set aside. Grab a large mixing bowl. You're going to whisk together the eggs, the milk, paprika, butter, and the salt and pepper till they're well combined. Add the cheese, the sausage, the onions, and the hominy, and stir it all together. Pour that into your prepared dish, and you can sprinkle more cheese on the top if you want. You can also sprinkle a little paprika on there, make it look pretty.
We always like extra cheese here in the DiCarlo house.
Extra cheese is yummy. Bake it uncovered for about an hour or until the edges are browned and a tester comes out clean. Let it stand for like 10 minutes to cool and solidify a bit before you serve it, and then enjoy. It is delicious.
It's great with a side salad or just a side of greens. It makes a complete meal.
Roasted veg.
Anything.
It's
It's
good.
easy. You use your eggs. It's a different way to do it. It's fun. So try it. You might like it. If you do, send us a picture. We'd love to give you a story and enjoy. Okay, so let's move on to retail therapy. Retail therapy. Yeah. This week's retail therapy, we're doing vintage chicken barware because we like it.
We like to drink out of our vintage.
Occasionally. Just
barware.
occasionally.
Oh, girl, this week has been bad. I need a drink right now.
Yeah, you've had a really bad week. So you need these bar glasses and barware.
In fact, I do need these bar glasses and
Yes, you
barware.
do. And you need a stiff drink.
I need somebody to whip me up a whiskey sour.
You need Joe. He does a good
I know. He does. Joe does great drinks.
Okay, so here we go. Libby is going to be your number one for barware.
Right. Libby, and they make all kinds of things from shot glasses to probably cocktail shakers.
And we own some that we bought in Ohio for the
Right.
studio. And, you know, they have all different stuff. Libby is still continuing to make it, but they
Right.
do have the vintage.
And some of the vintage are fantastic. Like they're tall Collins glasses. You can get the shorter old-fashioned glasses.
Now, the other one is Hazel Atlas. Hazel
Right.
Atlas has lots of different bar glasses, too. Look at this one. Those are cool. They have teapots and roosters.
Super mid-century.
Oh, yeah.
You can find more rare ones from other makers. Federal Glass, you're going to find more rarely. Hazel Atlas and Libby are going to be your bigger two.
Yeah.
You'll find a lot of the multi-glass Collins glasses, which are quite nice.
They have a set here with a bar pitcher. Look at this set. $68.99. That price is not bad on that set. This is a mid-century modern set of what kind of glasses are those?
Those are old-fashioned glasses. The shorter wide glasses are old-fashioned glasses.
And I'm trying to see who
the maker is.
handpicked by about this item. Doesn't tell us. A lot of these don't tell you, but they just say mid-century modern. That's a cool set right there.
It's really cool, yeah.
That would be cool in the studio.
While I was doing some research for this yesterday, I found this little set of sherry glasses
Mm-hmm.
that it was two chickens on it. I couldn't tell if they were supposed to be chicks or hens or what, but they were really neat looking.
Yeah, here's more old-fashioned glasses,
Mhm.
mid-century modern. Oh, wait, those don't have chickens on them, though. Give yourself that 5-minute vacation. Put into Google vintage chicken barware and just look at all the stuff. It's really fun. And make the drinks.
If you want to collect them for a good price, just keep your eye out in the wild. Check thrift shops and check yard sales. That's where you're most likely going to find them at a good price.
If you have some good chicken barware, invite us over. We'll have a drink with you. We'd love to.
Love some old fashions.
Okay, so should we tell everybody what we're going to be talking about next week?
Next week is a fantastic episode. We're spotlighting the beautiful and critically endangered campine.
Oh, it's a cute chicken.
Main topic is a really fun interview with Johannes Paul. And if you don't know already, Hans is one of the creators and the co-CEO of Omelette.
One of the founding fathers, and he is so sweet.
And super fun. Cracking the eggs. Apple cornmeal cake sounds weird, tastes amazing.
That's going to be the motto.
Yes, it is. Retail therapy, we're doing an Etsy shop that has really cute chicken and duck stuff, the quilted cupcake.
And it's at my local farmer's market.
Well, goody for you.
I love it. Okay, so what should we tell everybody to do until next week?
Hug your chickens.
Every day and kiss them too. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Coffee with the Chicken Ladies. If you'd like to help us grow the podcast, please leave us a written review on Apple Podcasts. If you'd like to become a patron of the show, please visit our Patreon page, patreon.com/coffeewiththechickenladies. Thanks for listening.